everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you are here. First of all, I want to say that I am so sorry that I wasn't able to post in a while. Things have been like really chaotic around here. We were on vacation. That coupled with spiritual obligations and family obligations, needless to say that it took up a lot of my time. But I promise that I will try to be more consistent with creating content for you. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the family. If you have been a loyal subscriber of mine, then I want to say thank you so much for bearing with me and welcome back. So I'd like to start 2023 with a post or with content that is near and dear to my heart. Hooded eyes, crepey eyelids. This is huge for me. And as we get older, the skin on our eyelids tend to get looser. They lose their elasticity, therefore creating what they call a crepey eyelid effect. I don't like that term, but that's what it is. And hooded eyes. Now, hooded eyes can be genetic, or it can also be caused due to aging. Whatever the case, hooded eyes are beautiful. Some of the most beautiful celebrities and stars have hooded eyes. But regardless, we can definitely still create some beautiful eye looks with hooded eyes. And we can do things that will help open up our eye. So that is what this video is about today. 5 tips for hooded eyes. So tip number 1, your brows. Make sure that your brows are groomed. So what do I mean by that? Basically, try to create a bit of an arch. Ooh, I have all these baby hairs. An arch such as this, which will help give you a little bit more lid space. That will help us to create some eye looks. But even if you're not creating some eye looks, just the fact that you created that arch will give you more space, which in turn will look like you have bigger eyes, less hooded. Now, I had my brows laminated about 3 days ago. I loved it. I was so scared. I was contemplating whether to do those DIY brow laminations at home, but I'm so glad that I went to a professional, to an esthetician, because if done wrong, you can really damage your brows, which is not what I wanted. But what that did was I did a brow lamination in conjunction with a brow tint. So what that did was any little baby hairs were darkened. So it looks like I have more brows. And just the fact that they're lifted, I mean, look at that. I haven't done anything to them. And I can't stop looking at my brows. I just love them. I'm so happy. And it's definitely something that I'm going to keep doing. So tip number 1, make sure that you groom your brows so that you give yourself a more lifted look and you open up the eye area further. And what else that does is that when you do excuse me, if you do apply shadows, you might want to add a little bit of highlighter on the brow bone. Again, that gives the illusion of a bigger eye, more lid space. So that's tip number 1. Make sure you groom your brows. Tip number 2, brushes. Now this is huge. This is huge because we have such little real estate, as we like to call it. We can't be using big old brushes because that just won't work. So I'll give you an example. So these 2 brushes, look at this one versus these 2 little ones. So could you imagine if you're trying to create a halo look, or you're trying to apply some product to the outer V of your eye? Look how big this brush is. It pretty much takes up my whole eye. Whereas something like these 2, right, allows me to get right into. It allows me to be more detailed with my application of product and where I apply it. So if I'm trying to create a halo effect, well, the little brush will allow me to create a small little line on top rather than taking a brush like this. Look how huge that is. I mean, that speaks for itself. Look at these brushes. I have a few more examples here, blending brushes. So look at the difference between these 2, right? These 2. This one here, if I'm trying to blend, shadow, imagine how messy it can get. It'll take the product maybe too high where I don't want it. Whereas something that is smaller, such as this, will give me that precision to really blend the product in nicely and where I want it to go. So limit it in scope. A couple of other brush examples. Look at this one. This is a shadow brush, right? Look how big this is. I mean, this one can still work for the shadow, but look how much more detailed I can be with these two little brushes. This one here in particular, it's smaller. I can really get into the corner of my eye if I just want to kind of apply some precise shadow there. And liner brushes. Well, this doesn't really make a difference, although I have a bigger and a smaller size. But when it comes to liner, you just want to make sure that you get as close to the lash line as possible. So tip number 2 is brushes. The smaller the brush, the better. It allows you to get more precision with your application of shadow. Therefore, again, maximizing and working with the real estate that you have there, working with the eye space that you have there. Tip number 3, we've talked about shadows. Well, that is tip number 3. If you are applying shadows, work with effects that will open up your eye. So there's a cut crease, there's a halo effect. This is what I've got going on today. This is the halo effect. But even if you are not into these types of shadow looks, maybe you're too intimidated, maybe you feel you don't know how, or maybe you feel it's just too much time, you can still give yourself a beautiful shadow look just with one eyeshadow color, preferably, obviously, a light color, because we want to create lid space, not close off the eye. Having said that, I still love smoky eye. I love a smoky eye, and I will do them quite often. But if you want to try to open up the eye, then even with one shadow color, a light, a champagne color, you can simply just apply it over your lid and go above a crease where you would simulate a crease. And so bring it up, probably depending on the hood of your eye, it might be just below the brow bone. But wherever you want to simulate a crease, that is where you would take the shadow up to. And again, a light color. Now, speaking of shadows, many people, what I see is they don't apply shadow to the bottom lash line because they figure that if they apply it there, then it closes off the eye. No, on the contrary, applying shadow to the lower lash line will create the illusion of a bigger eye. So you see I've got shadow here at the bottom liner, and my eye doesn't look small. Why? Because I've created that halo effect, that lighter color on my lid. The other thing that I've done is that I've applied a light color, the Rimmel, I believe it's the Rimmel one, to my waterline at the bottom just to open up the eye. So that's tip number 3, making sure that you work with shadow effects that will help give you the appearance of more lid space. Tip number 4, lashes. Please do not neglect your lashes. So if you're not into false lashes, that's okay. Just make sure to apply several coats of mascara to just open up the eye. Curl them if possible. I love applying falsies, especially to the corners of my eye, because that does give the effect of a bigger eye. Why? Because it opens up the eye. So definitely, if you're not into false lashes, maybe again, maybe you're a little bit intimidated, it's a hassle, definitely consider lashes to help you open up your eye. I love that. Last but not least, my favorite is eyelid tape. I am currently wearing eyelid tape. So if you were wondering, hey, you don't have hooded eyes, that's because the eyelid tape works wonders. Now, not all eyelid tapes are created equal. There are some that are terrible. I've had some. There's one that comes into like a roll. It looks like a Scotch tape. That one's terrible because it's very shiny. So when you apply shadow on top of it, it's clearly visible. So the one that I love and if I remember, I will link it in the description box below, is these ones here. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it comes into a pack with different sizes. And it's so simple. Because I'm wearing it now, I can't really show you, but basically what you would do, it comes with these tweezers, and basically you would just grab one, as you can see right here. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's pretty texture. I actually wear mine on top of my shadow when I've done my shadow. You can opt to put underneath the shadow. It will be seamless. And then what you do is, with a little bit of water, you just simply spray it, and you just place it where you want to create your lid. Now, if you want to see, so if you want to see it, you can't even tell. I just placed it. Let me find it. It's right here. You can't really tell. It's right here. You can't really tell. It's right here, because when you apply shadow over it, you can't tell. And as a matter of fact, I'm not sure, but you can't even tell that I'm wearing it right now. So these are my 5 tips. There are more, of course, but these are the ones that, to me, make the biggest difference. So if you have hooded eyes and or crepey eyelids, please, if you have any tips, please do share them with me. I would love to hear them. And if you are interested in this halo eye look, then drop me a comment down below, and I will definitely try to recreate this look for you. It was super simple, and I really enjoy it. I just find it as wonders. Thank you so much again for stopping by. I wish you a beautiful day wherever you are, and see you very soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.